Yuki and John, patriarch.
Immigration, Yuki, immigration. Now, this is a subject that you know a lot about because you immigrated to the United States.
Yes. And then the two times things are different. One before September 11th, and then after September 11th, a different condition. And then before Trump, and then after Trump, that's another different time. So it depends on who is the administration, our condition changes.
So when exactly did you come to the United States again? In the mid 70s?
1980.
Oh.
And then I had a student visa. And then and that time the Reagan president time.
So how hard was it in the early 80s to get your student visa and everything?
It wasn't difficult, as long as once you have a accept from the school, you have a paper, and then you get that paper, and then you get the bank account. The proof of how much you have in. I mean, these are fake because you put the money, you borrow the money, then you ask bank to hey, the proof of the how much in blah blah blah, and then once you get that paper, you can take money out. You can go back to zero as long as one document goes to U.S. Embassy. As long as the amount is there, they don't care. Because I mean, kids shouldn't have that kind of money anyway. It's not your money, right? It's your parents' money anyway.
So, but you established yourself pretty quickly, and you were able to kind of immediately go to school and all that stuff. Did you? You didn't face any problems, really, did you?
No, go to school, the paper, bank statement, and then all the documents. So I got the student visa for 4 years, and then you get to extend another one. So 4 years twice. So you can get 8 years altogether.
As a as a student, and then you continued on. You just kept re-upping as a green card.
Right. So one way is, if you want to keep staying in United States, you keep going to school. But I mean, it's kind of stupid. You have to. I mean, that costs too much. Then another problem for this foreign student is once you graduated, you can't stay. You have to go back. And then the problem is always is if you don't have a green card, you don't get the job. And then if you don't get the job, you don't get the green card. See?
So double-edged sword, catch-22, double-edged sword. What was your process, if you don't mind me asking? You just got lucky and got a job?
I graduated, then I got the 1 year practical training visa. So my degree was, motion picture and television and theater. So in that field, I could work United States 1 year. So, so I could work 1 year with this visa, practical training. But it has to be in your field. You cannot do other things. Has to be entertainment related. That's what I have a degree. So while I was doing that, I went to immigration attorney. I want a green card. I want a U.S. resident. Since I went to school here, I work here, so I have no reason to go back. That's what I came here for anyway. So that was a middle 80, late 80, around there. And luckily, Japanese money started coming in U.S. entertainment business. Remember that the Japanese company buying Universal, Japanese company buying Sony, Japanese company Rockefeller, like a Radio City Music Hall, and then Japanese money in the Broadway show, Japanese money making a Japanese Hollywood movie like Black Rain, Rising Sun, those Japanese. So my attorney was very smart. Says, "Oh, this is good." So we put the ad saying this is like a major LA Times, and the classified, and we need somebody who is bilingual English and Japanese speaking, and then working in entertainment business. You put it there. Of course, there's no such a person except me, right? That kind of ad is like I think 3 days or 3 weeks, I forgot. And then proof. Okay, we put this ad in LA Times. Nobody came, nobody applied. But Yuki fits this job, so you should give him a green card. That's what happened. Because the immigration, you don't want to, taking away the job from American people because some another people from another country. They want U.S. citizen to have a job. That's why this ad, no American people can get this job because this description, job description was written for me. So I'm the only one fits this position. So that's why nobody come, nobody apply. So that's why my attorney put the whole paper together. Okay, this is, American money, Japanese money coming in Hollywood, and then they need bilingual people. We put the ad, but unfortunately, Yuki is the only one fits this position. So you have to give him a green.
Wow, that's what a great story. So you figured out, your lawyer, your attorney, and you figured out how to get you work, essentially, because then work really did start flowing in.
Right. So and then plus it wasn't really a fake or anything. I mean, that's realistically that was there. So I did lots of Japanese show, Japanese movie, and then all the theater coming from Japan, like a kabuki theater, bunraku. Those they had the money at that time. So those Japanese touring company going around North America, I did many of them. So, I did have a job because I was bilingual production personnel. So, okay, the attorney was smart enough to do that. But at the same time, it wasn't really fake. It was really true. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
So, and then that was by 90, I got the green card. I think 1989, I had the green card. But that there is a story. Only problem, when I had a first card, that was a temporary card. And then I was in Canada, and then U.S. immigration is in Canadian side, and the Toronto airport. It's in Toronto, not JFK, or you do U.S. immigration before you get on the plane. So when I show it, this my temporary green card. See, this is what they never seen it. And I said, "What's this?" I said, "Well, this is a temporary green card." And the officer said, "No, I never seen this. Can you come with me?" So they took me extra, those another room. It says secondary inspection room and blah, blah, blah. So I was there like, waiting. And then I said, "Well, I'm missing my plane." "Well, you can't go. You can go." And then 5 hours later, like 5 hours, I was waiting in this waiting room. you can go. I said, what do you mean you can go? I already missed the plane like 4 hours ago. I mean, fortunately, they gave me a new flight, but that's what happened. They don't say anything. They just, take you to the another room, and then you waiting, and no explanation, nothing. Then 5 hours later, okay, you can go. That kind of thing I had a lot. I mean, that's not only me. I mean, it's like, so the problem is like, well, this officer didn't know my temporary card. Why that happened? I mean, everybody should know, real one, temporary one, or paper one. And there are so many kinds of documents. It's not only one. Many. Some people holding the paper. See, the other problem is you have the one visa. Like in my case, I have a student visa and the practical visa, and then I apply the green card. But they don't give you document the day after your previous visa expired, because my practical training visa expired, and I got this temporary green card. You know how long in between? 3 years.
Whoa.
3 years, so I couldn't leave the country because I have no documents.
Now, why was the thing in Canada? What was the point of having it be in over the border?
Well, because the immigration office was in Canada, Toronto Airport. That's the U.S. immigration office. So you go U.S. immigration before. That's the only Toronto Airport. I don't know any other airport. But usually, like when I come back from Japan, the entry immigration is in, Newark or LaGuardia or JFK. But I don't know. The Toronto, it's at the Toronto Airport.
Oh, I thought, okay, sorry. I thought you meant in general, like the main headquarters of the U.S. immigration was in Toronto, Canada. But you mean you were flying in that airport? Sorry, I
Try to go back to U.S. I was working in Toronto.
Oh, I see. So in that case, it is for some reason in Toronto before you get back into America. But in general, if you're flying into Newark, they have their own. Okay, I'm sorry. I just, I'm just so stupid that that's why I don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about half the time. But okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So wait, when did Blood Diner fit into this? When you were a student?
That was during my practical training visa. I was already graduated.
Okay. So after all that, 3 years, then you were able to get a travel visa.
Well, you could, but usually that's so much trouble, and then you have to pay. I mean, it's so much hassle. And then because your document, and then plus, when I went to immigration office, what's happening? Where's my paper? They don't give you the answer. We let you know when we know. And then those 3 years, I don't know how many times I went to immigration office, but for 3 years, the answer is always, "Oh, we let you know when we know. We let you know when we know." They kept saying for 3 years. And then 3 years later, finally, I got the letter. Okay, we have an interview for green card. Well, if you give me this letter, couldn't you tell what's going on last year, 2 years ago, 3 years? No, they just suddenly, this time and date and then appointment, the job. I mean, residence interview appointment letter shows up.
Maybe they're just so backed up with so many people who want to that it is like a 3-year waiting list. Maybe
That's true too. I hear I found out later. If you have like a first class, very, very, very expensive attorney, not like I just hire immigration attorney, your paper goes on the top. So if you pay $100,000, $500,000, and expensive first class lawyer, they get your card in 1 week.
Whoa. You could cut down 3 years to 1 week?
Well, also, let's say, like a Ridley Scott from Canada, from England, or Wolfgang Petersen from Germany, Keanu lives in Canada. If you big name and then you making money in this country, in Hollywood, no time to get the green card. Like, those baseball player, Ichiro, or now, Otani, big baseball player. Oh my God, they can get the green card in 1 week because they have money and then they have a star, their name. They can make millions of money. So that's what the thing is. If you make money, no time to get the green card because you make money in this country. That's it. Because, like me, I'm nobody. So it takes me 3 years. And then I paid my attorney $3,500. So that's why it took me 3 years. I couldn't leave the country for 3 years because I have no documents.
3 years, almost a little bit over $1,000 a year, Yuki. That's and the old saying, money talks, bullshit walks. So shit, that sucks. I mean, so what? So then since then, it's been pretty much like a steady thing that you just like continue to re-up the thing when it's expired, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, and then except those documents or green card used to be free, but now you have to pay.
How much?
I think last time I paid $350.
They hose you everywhere. They hose you up and down, left and right. That sucks. Okay, so
$350, that was like a long time ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, when I pay it. And how many immigrants there? Like that's like a several $100 million, right? That I think Trump is like a really businessman.
he'll nickel and dime the everybody, the immigrants, everybody.
He knows how to make money.
So what do you think, as somebody who came to this country and did you waited and you did the paperwork and it took you 3 years, even more, what do you think about the whole thing that's going on now with illegal immigration and Trump and all that sort of stuff? I would love to get your thoughts on it.
I'm sorry for them because, some people like, okay, my husband got deported, my wife got deported, and then they said, okay, they don't have a document, but not always true because if they are middle of the processing getting the green card, they may not have the paper like me. They didn't give me any paper for 3 years. So if middle of the process, and then if you don't have a green card, then they may be deporting those people too. So I don't know the truth is, but I mean, depend on how you look. You really have to see, okay, this person didn't have a document. Well, may not be 100% true. What if, middle of the process and just happen not to have a document? So it's not fair then if you deported those people.
100% agree. That's bullshit. Because if somebody's in the process, it's not that hard for them to figure out. Okay, you're doing the right thing. You're doing it by the books. Give them a little more time. Get the fucking thing done, and don't just throw them out of the country. Like, but on the flip side of it, if there's a person who was a criminal who was fucking coming here to America to just do horrendous things and fuck with the nation or the make money or whatever, kill people, get rid of those motherfuckers. But you what you said, that you should feel bad for those people who are collateral damage.
But I met, I was in the East Los Angeles College, bunch of Mexican kids, and I met many, many students. I was talking to the guy sitting next to me, like, I start talking, and then he told me he just crossed the country. I said, "You just crossed the country? I don't have any document, but you have a driver's license and then Social Security." He said, "Oh, this is fake." He showed it to me. So that's true. Those, the illegal alien and having fake documents are going to college for free. In the meantime, I'm a foreign student. Since I have a correct document, I was paying like hundreds of just one unit. So I said, that's not fair. This illegal alien just across the country having fake document, going to college for free. And then, I'm like a totally legal foreign student and then having couple hundred per unit. What an unfair thing.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset where it's pretty black and white. If you do it the right way, you should be given some leeway. If you do it the wrong way, you should be thrown right the fuck out. It's that simple. Like, why does it have to be so complicated where innocent people are getting caught up in it and horrible people are getting defended? It's black and white. If you do it right, you're in. If you do it wrong, you're out. I mean, that's how I feel. And there are shades of gray in there, like at least, like this guy who you're talking about, that's illegal. Like, even if an American citizen fakes an ID and fakes identification, that's illegal.
Yeah, I think fake documents are illegal. That doesn't matter. You're immigrant or you're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Illegal is illegal, right? I mean, crime is crime.
Crime is crime. And if you do the crime, you do the time. But if you're innocent, leave them the fuck alone.
That's right. But one thing, it's not my. I was in California making a movie, and then Strawberry Road. So I was working in farmers and agriculture. 90% of the workforce is Mexican, illegal Mexican. So if you deported everybody, I don't think U.S. agriculture can stand for. I mean,
well, I was earlier in the year. I was reading articles about how, it would cripple the agricultural industry. Now, why though? How I just don't understand how that's not like somehow known until this year. Of course, it had to have been known. There's no way that the what?
They knew it. I mean, they have to look away because if U.S. government deported everybody, like you said, the cripple the agriculture business. So they have to look away, and then otherwise, white people with college education is gonna picking the potato or strawberries. They don't do that. We need those Mexican pickers.
Right, but it's a little different. Like, I think a lot of people with the Trump thing were sold obviously misinformation about what would happen, because you keep hearing people online saying this isn't what I voted for and stuff, and it sounds like that because like I said, the criminals, get rid of the criminals, but if you're getting rid of innocent people or people who came here to work and are actually helping the economy, there has to be some sort of a way to figure that out and have a system for that as well. So if 90% of the agricultural, that's what you said, right? 90% of the agricultural industry would be crippled. Yeah, we don't know the stats, but it would be bad. So if those people are doing work and not going out and sex trafficking and things of that stuff at night, why not figure out a way to make that work? There has to be a way to figure out.
That's I think government should spend time and money to figuring out the best way, not just deporting everybody without thinking in present and the future.
Yeah, okay. So they had those big the protests and some riots and stuff earlier in the year, and I'm kind of on both sides of the thinking. Like, if ICE is raiding and fucking with innocent lives, that should not happen. If ICE is raiding and destroying gangs and things like that, that should happen. So, but then there might be collateral damage with people who didn't know how deep they were into certain things. So it's just it really shouldn't just be like grab people and throw them out. It has to. I think that there has to be a way to sort of figure out how to figure out who's good and who's bad. But I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't know how to do that, and I don't know if it's more or less complicated than I actually think it is. I really don't know. All I know is that good people should not be fucked with.
So what's annoying me is you can automatically say, oh, immigrant, criminal. No. I mean, there is always criminal in anybody. I mean, U.S. citizen, American citizen, some of them are good, some of them are criminal.
Some of my family members were criminals, but also some of my family members came in and immigrated to the U.S. many years ago and did it the right way and did it the way it was supposed to be done. But then I know people who fucking deserve to go to jail tomorrow. It's like, and they're not immigrants; they're just a U.S. citizen. It's good versus evil. It's Star Wars, Yuki. Immigration is Star Wars. The dark side and the light side.
No, I think it's not about immigrant or you were born here.
No. Yeah. It's also asshole versus nice. It's always that. But then people, somebody realizes how they can make money off of it or how they can make an example of somebody. It's always so nefarious in these things. And sometimes the most simple answer leads to better solutions, good versus evil. Who's good, who's bad? Who's doing the right thing, who's doing the wrong thing?
And then the many Mexican people are hard worker. I mean, really hard work. And then, I met so many people, they work hard. They came here because their parents are here. And then, they went to college and then, okay, of course, they picked the veggie and the fruit. But many of them, bought nice house in Lancaster or, those outside of Los Angeles. And they're doing a lot better than some American people.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, he's criminal, just deport them because they're from Mexico or they're from Guatemala. Like, no, that's what it's just really annoying me because if you, going after them, then well, you should go after American criminal too.
Of course. Some of the greatest coworkers I ever had were people from foreign countries. I worked with guys when I was a janitor. I had Russian, Ukrainian, Mexican, Colombian, all these people, and they were really hard workers. They were really funny, really nice, and all they were doing was trying to make a good life for their families. Right. That's it. I mean, Portuguese, like all these people who came to this country because of the American dream, and I don't know if necessarily being a janitor is the American dream, but it's a good job where you make a good amount of money and you get good health benefits and you get good hours, and that's all it was. That's what I saw. But well, actually, one of them did ask me. The Ukrainian guy, he offered me $15,000 to marry his cousin to keep her in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it for a day, and then one night at dinner, I was really stoned. This was when I was like, I had just graduated college, and I was like, my first year out of college, I stayed in my janitor job to save money because I was moving to LA, and I was so high. I don't know why I was eating dinner high with my parents. They didn't know I was high, and I was like, oh man, this guy from work offered me $15,000 to marry his cousin. My mother's like, she like flipped out on me. It's like, you will not marry her, and like it became a whole thing. But honestly, I don't say that I would do it unless it was like a lot of money. It would have to be a lot of money.
And then, at that time, I didn't get married to get green card. But, I mean, around that time, 30, 40 years ago, that was kind of popular because even some Mexican American girl, she asked me, "Oh, Yuki, I marry you for 3,000." It's like, no. And then actually, friend of mine, she's white. She married with somebody from South America. Didn't last. I told her, like, look, if you really love with this guy, that's a different story. But if you married him for the green card, it's not gonna work. And then plus, when they do interview, they take you, different room, and then really, really nasty private question. When you sleep, which side do you sleep? How many times you have sex? Blah, blah, blah. Do you give head, a blowjob? Blah. If those, private answer don't match, they think, oh, you're not living together or you're not sleeping together, fake marriage, and then deported. That was happening already, 80s and 90s. So.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. So you got to really have a real relationship, even if you are faking it. So you have to make love and do all the things if you don't want to.
If you fake marriage for green card, you still have to have sex because you have to answer. So
I saw a picture of the girl that the guy was offering me, and she was pretty hot, and but I'm not going to do it just for that. $15,000. That's not life-changing money. You offer me like $500,000. Yeah, because even if the marriage doesn't last, we get divorced. She gets $250,000 half. I still have $250,000. I can move on with my life.
Well, that's nice. 250 plus sleep with her.
Yeah. You get a hot girl for 3 or 4 years. How long do you have to stay together when you get married? Like 3 or 4 years. Yeah, you stay together 3 or 4 years. You have some unprotected sex. Although, no, you shouldn't have unprotected sex because then if you have the baby, then you're fucked for life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not fucked for life. You might love your child, but still, then you're tethered to the fakeness forever.
Right. But my friend of mine, she's from Croatia. She was, I think, going college. She was like a 19, 20. She married with maybe like a 20, 30 years older guy, get married, get the green card, and then she divorced him in like a 2, 3 months.
And then she get kicked out or she stayed?
No, she stayed, and now she became a U.S. citizen a couple of years ago. So she did it quick. She was ahead of the U.S. government.
How difficult is it to become a U.S. citizen? Because I have a feeling that the test that they make you do, I would fail it because I don't know all the American history. I don't know all the answers to all the things. I might know some of it as residual effects from grammar school and middle school, maybe. But I have a feel. You know what would be fun is if we actually got the U.S. citizenship test and took it and see our results.
Well, I wouldn't say easy, but stuff like where is the capital of the United States or California? Those simple like question, and then who was the first president of the United States? Who is the 13th state of the United States? That kind of stuff.
Well, if they asked me who's the 23rd president, I wouldn't know what the fuck. I know the big ones,
Very sad, or 35, it's difficult. No, but the question is like, who is the first president of the United States?
Okay, I know that. That was Abraham Lincoln.
No, I said George Washington.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Washington. I'm sorry. I thought it was Henry Ford. No, so, all right. So, look, Yuki, I think you're doing the right thing. You're in Japan right now. And you expressed to me a little bit of nervousness about when you try to come back, if they might fuck with you. You think they will?
No, I don't think so because I don't have any criminal record. But I mean, besides these conditions, in the future, when time comes, I have to make up a decision. Either I die in New York or I die in Tokyo, because okay, it's not the problem, I said, but I mean, it will be problem. I still work a little bit, so I still have income, but New York, I have to pay rent. But in Tokyo, I don't have to pay rent.
Right.
And then my sister is getting old, and then right now, I can still travel. 13 hours flight is fine. But someday there will be the time I'm too old to travel. See, that's, I don't know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But obviously, when I'm older than 80, I don't want to travel.
So you have to make a decision. What is it, the U.S. or Japan?
Right. So, but I'm kind of shifting to Japan because, I mean, I don't have to pay rent here. And then right now, those Social Security, the major part of the Social Security goes to rent. But if I'm in Tokyo, instead of rent, hey, I can spend the money. Maybe I can travel. I can go nice restaurant, right?
Yeah. You could go, take a little day trip, maybe go up north, down south. Yeah.
Saving some money, then maybe travel, Europe or, somewhere. I mean, so I don't know what to do, but I just have to make sure I can collect my Social Security when I living in Japan.
Yeah. I don't know who the hell knows how that works.
A friend of mine, he just moved to Thailand and then living with Thai girl, like somebody, like a 20, 30 years younger Thai girl. And he collects Social Security in Thailand. So if he can do that, maybe I can. But only difference is he is a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. resident. So I have to make sure if I do that, I can do that. Then
Well, what if you keep? I'm not trying to make illegal thoughts here, but there's got to be a way because you paid into the system all those years, so they can't. Well, I don't. They can do anything they want, but they should pay you out, man. I mean, you paid in.
right, because those I've been paid like 40 some years. So that's my money. So I want my money back,
I
right?
agree, or at least like some of it. You can't. Yeah, that would be bullshit, man. That'd be bullshit, Yuki. Fuck. Why is life so complicated? Even something as simple as giving Yuki what he deserves, they can't do it.
I know. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, it's just lots to do, to make up my mind. Uh,
Well, okay. So, any final thoughts on immigration before we wrap up immigration? Because that was very actually insightful because you've given me a perspective I didn't have because I was born in this country and most of my family, came here a generation or two before I was even born. So, I mean, I got some of their stories, but that was really eye opening what you just told me, and it makes me feel for certain people who are getting fucked. And then also it makes me feel like get certain people out of here who are fucking horrible, who don't do the right thing. It's both sides of the issue I could see.
my thought is United States, everybody, I mean everybody from some another country except your Native American. So this is what this country is. Like, I don't care. Like Trump, his grandfather or great grandfather, they came from somewhere.
Yeah.
His wife is from somewhere.
Yeah.
So everybody is from somewhere. So when I hear like some racist thing, hey, go back to where you came from, that's including you.
Yes.
So I mean, that's what the U.S. is built with immigrant. That's what it's great. That's why I think U.S. government or this administration, I want them to do a right thing. I can't criticize or I can't judge what they do. I'm not the politician or I'm not the police, but just I won't be this country as it has been last 200 some years because everybody came from somewhere else.
That's right. We could use more of the right thing, Yuki, in this world, and hopefully some people start thinking that way, but it seems grim. All I know is I'm glad to have you in my life. I'm glad you stumbled in on a stormy February day and that we're still, these many years later, over 10 years later, still talking to each other.
That's right. That's the stormy
No, wait, it's
day
not 10.
that
Wait. It's, hold on. 2018. So close to 10. We're getting there. 7,
yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to 10.
We get 10, yeah. And then many more.
And then many more. All right, so Yuki, we'll see you next time at the buffet. We want to thank everybody for joining us, subscribing. Please rate us. Please give a little review and say 5 stars or whatever you want to say. I'm not forcing you to say nothing. And then, thank you to all of our beautiful patrons. We have some cool stuff coming up. The Yuki and John's interview buffet in the coming months. That's going to air on the Kings of Horror YouTube channel. They have 1.57 million subscribers, Yuki.
Wow.
We're about to be exposed to over 1 million people, and you're basically the James Lipton of horror.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Me too, Yuki. The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. All right, Yuki, we'll see you next time at the
buffet and then immigration.
Yuki and John, patriot of a bird.